You believe it has been 24 years. This October, today's the 30th of September, so starting tomorrow, we're into that month. We're in October, well, September 2000, I contemplated suicide. In October 2000, I had signed up for a personal development training. I actually did try to get a refund because, number one, when I realized what I'd signed up for, hypnosis, timeline therapy, something called Huna, I was like, no, 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 that's not for me. I need a refund. Thankfully, they didn't give me one. So this time, 24 years ago, I was contemplating suicide. In the October, ended up on that personal development training. And in the November, did the one-day breakthrough session, which absolutely just blew my mind, changed my life. And by the December, I'd made the decision that I'm going to get, because I was studying to be a chartered accountant. So I made the decision I'm going to give up my accountancy studies. I had three more papers to go before I could be chartered. And I said, I'm going to give up my accountancy studies. I'm going to be a coach and hypnotherapist, and then subsequently NLP trainer of timeline therapy, trainer of hypnosis. Went out to Hawaii a couple of times to study Huna, became a certified photo reading instructor. And the reason the photo reading came into the frame in 2002 was in my early 20s, I was diagnosed with what was thought to be early onset Alzheimer's. And my doctor said there was nothing he could do for me. He said, the only thing I can do is write a letter, because I was struggling, of course, in exams. I was sitting there looking at the paper and just about writing my name. With one of the papers, I think I scored, I think it was 9% in the ACCA exams. And just to put that into context, when I did my business studies degree, marketing, accountancy, etc., was part of that, I used to get a first, in terms of the papers I would hand in, etc. So that's how big the contrast was. And my doctor says, the only thing I can do for you is I can write to the ACCA, I can explain your health situation, and you can see if they can maybe give you extra time in the exams. I don't think I've got it in this stack, but it might be, but there was hundreds of various slides in here. But he wrote a letter explaining my health challenges to the ACCA, and they gave me an extra 45 minutes in the exams. So all of this was going on 24 years ago. If you'd said to me in September 2000, this is what you're going to spend the next 24 years doing, I would have just laughed you out of town, because I had a business studies degree, a postgraduate marketing diploma with the Chartered Institute of Marketing. I was studying to be a chartered accountant. Hypnosis could not have been further from my mind, and I actually would have said it was hocus pocus and a load of old I actually did say it was a load of old nonsense, quite frankly, because my idea of hypnosis was somebody standing on the stage on one leg, hopping up and down and barking like a dog. That was my version of hypnosis. So I would have told you that was just nonsense. So when I really think about it, 24 years, I can't believe it. So with all of that said, in terms of the whistle stop tour of how I got here, what I'm doing for the next 7 days is I'm going to offer, it's 24%, but I thought I'm going to double that for the next 7 days. So I'm offering 48% off on my what I call my Zenler site, my online programs and courses on that site. Some of the things and modalities that have helped to change my life. Now, if you're on my e-newsletter list, you got the email a few days ago, because you always get a pre-launch offer. So you get an extra 10%. So it's 58% off anything on the Zenler site, the online on-demand trainings and programs. And the 58% ends tonight at midnight. What time are we now? I've just come back from a board meeting. So it's just say it's 10 p.m. now. So you've got a couple more hours. But the 48% kind of starts now, but technically starts tomorrow, but I've just finished setting it up. And that's going to run for the next 7 days. So that ends on the 6th of October this week. Actually, maybe I'll make it the 7th. But anyway, let's just say 6th of October. Actually, let me pull up the site and let me tell you. Let me give you a little summary of some of the things that are in there. So we've got, what's that? The Ultimate Best Version of You, Guided Future Life Progression Session. We've got the Fearless Public as a free intro, but there's a Fearless, there's a Fearless Public Speaking Program, the Mind, Body, Spirit Energy Fest, the 1-day Banish Procrastination webinar, video webinar, the Memory Accelerator. One Focus Challenge. Ooh, the 3-day photo reading video webinar workshop. Catch that while you can, because I don't usually do offers on that. The 1-day money breakthrough workshop, the 1-day mind body spirit energy fest, MBS Energy Fest workshop, the Huna and Ho'oponopono workshop, the 1-day fearless public speaking workshop, the practitioner insider secrets workshop and program, healing heartbreak, and the money breakthrough e-coaching course. Oh, actually, let me get my calculator. What would that be? Let me just give you an example. So what's that? The MBS Energy Fest. Let me just work that out. Give you the precise number. La, da, da. 1 second. Cancel. Oops. Okay, that's not bad. So instead of one of the, let's say, is 197. So instead of 197, you'll pay 102.44. So I'd say that's pretty good going. Anyway, so that's the URL is coming across along the bottom on the ticker tape. So let me wait for that to show up just to make sure I give you the right URL. Let's get it right. If we're going to do it, let's do it properly. So any second now, the ticker tape, which is coming down there, is www.transformationstm.newzenler, ZENERLER, so transformationstm.com.newzenler.com, and use the coupon code 2024 ANNIV, ANNIV 48. So I'll put that somewhere. I'll put it in the comments. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, I'll put it in the description. So if you are up for some personal development, some transformation, you want to do it from the comfort of your own home, these are all online on demand. So your time, your place, no need to travel, no accommodation required. It's all there. And one of the things that people will always say in terms of watching the online workshops, number one, time flies, even when it's a 1-day workshop. Number two, they say, gosh, I felt like I was there in the room with you. Number three, it's energizing and they're just fully absorbed. So somebody had said once, they said, well, there are online workshops and then there are Marilyn's online workshops. I don't know if I've got any testimonials here, actually. Let me just have a quick look. I didn't stack anything up. This is just going to be a very, God, I don't like the way this works anymore. You used to be able to scroll through. Actually, let me just show you this one, just so you get a sense of what it's like if you're doing something online that's been recorded. Now, this was from back in the days where I was running teleseminars because the webinar technology didn't exist. Now, I've been doing online coaching, online training, and online therapy since 2005. So well before the pivot, pandemic, remote working, all that sort of stuff. And some of you know that I was a management consultant, been a management consultant since 2003. My specialist subject, I was a specialist remote working implementation consultant. That meant going into organizations to design and write and implement remote working and flexible working policy and strategy. So, you know, I've been in the remote field for a long time. So of course, when I'm running sessions and workshops on teleseminar, where it was dial up, so I would dial a number on my telephone and then that would get recorded. And when I first started out, I think they were based in Wales, so I would say, right, on Monday at 7 p.m. I'm doing a teleseminar. On Monday at 7 p.m. someone on their end would press the record button. I would then run my teleseminar, and then about a week later I would get a CD in the post, which was the recording, and then I would burn the CD onto other CDs, and that's how I used to send out my recordings. Can you imagine having to do that now? People get upset if their download speed is a bit slow. And I have the I think they're up there, they're probably over there, but I actually have the stack. I still got a stack of the CDs because I had some CDs made with the Transformations logo on them and all that sort of stuff. So when it arrived in the post, people would know exactly what it was. So that's how long I've been doing online. And this was back in the day also when I was doing, this was a teleseminar. That's why it's an MP3 audio. And Pippa Neve from pippaneve.com wasn't there live because of the time difference. I mean, there were times when we were doing she's done a couple of my programs, and she often would be on the live program. She'd be getting up at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning to join us live, which was amazing. And on this occasion, I said, look, I've created this new process. I went to my e-newsletter list and says, would anyone be willing to listen to this and give me some feedback? So Pippa wasn't there live. She listened to the recording, which you will be doing with your 48% saving. However, you get the video webinar version and all the visuals that go with that. But at this time, it was just audio on the phone. And then she sent me this feedback, and feedback is amazing, just hands down anyway. A few years later, I was running a video webinar workshop, which actually is included in the 48% off. That was the money breakthrough. And somebody was saying, well, what if I can't make the sessions live? And I said, hey, look, whether you're there live or in person, the clearings still work in terms of the HUNA and whatever else we're doing. And so I then said, I've got a client, let me share her testimonial. And as I was reading through the testimonial, as I'm reading it, I'm like, hold on a minute. Pippa is describing exactly what I was doing. Now, in these days, I wasn't teaching HUNA. I hadn't started running the intro, again, the one-day HUNA intro workshop. That's included in the 48% off as well. But I wasn't running those. There were no visuals. I'd never talked to anyone about what the symbols were. All they would hear during the recording is me going, and even somebody who does HUNA has probably no idea what those symbols were, because we all use our breath differently. So that's all Pippa could hear. But when I was reading through her description a few years later, I realized that she was describing the order and sequence in which I had done the symbols. Because she said initially my third eye, my throat, heart center and solar plexus felt compressed, and it was uncomfortable to say the least. I opened that particular recording with, the literal translation is thunder comes down and strikes the earth and makes the earth shake. And if people are sensitive to energy, they can feel that as a pushback. So that's what she described. She said, after the first round of HUNA, I sensed the image of a triangle of fire. Lo and behold, the next thing I did, I used the red triangle of fire, which was, again, I didn't say what I was doing, I was just doing it. And I used the triangle of fire to burn away the embers of what we just broken up with the thunder energy. And then she says, during and after the second round, I felt the pain being drawn out of my body via my heart center. She had no idea that at that point, once you clear the way, burn away the embers, I did this thing that we do in the soul plan sessions, where it's called sword fingers. So you're drawing the energy out and clearing it, and I'm clearing it from the heart space, because what I wanted to do then is use another symbol. And Pippa says, I slowly began to feel lighter. My heart center opened up more than previously, and I felt like I was glowing from the inside out. And as I'm typing the phrase, as if the light of my soul is now able to shine through my heart center. She said that's what came to mind as she was typing and writing the testimonial to me. Unbeknownst to Pippa, what I did after we'd used the thunder, burnt away the embers, drawn out all the energy, what I then did is I used the symbol in this area here, and the literal translation is along the lines of the wave of light that makes you gasp, and it's like the light is shining from the inside out, which is amazing. And she said the third round gave me a sense of my heart center expanding into the universe, and I now have a sense of feeling more open, and I believe I totally cleared the blocks. I feel confident, happy, open, positive, and I'm glowing at the joy of it all. And what I did after that is there's a symbol that I used to open up the space, which is exactly what Pippa was describing. And that was just listening to an audio recording. I think it was about, I don't know, half an hour, something like that, if that, with top and tailing and all the rest of it. And if you want to experience HUNA, if you've never experienced before, and you want to both learn about it, learn about the symbols, experience the symbols, do the clearings, all of that sort of stuff, the one-day HUNA workshop is included in the 48% off this week. But this is really just to highlight that even though it's a recording and it's on demand, you can still get the energy and the benefit of all of that even though we're not physically there live, but energetically. And I'm doing a lot with the quantum entanglement at the moment, but that's an example of the quantum entanglement where you will get what's going on. So let me just see, why isn't this thing working? Sorry, usually in this sort of system, you press a button and it just scrolls through the slides. Now you've got to press everything, you've got to just keep pressing, and to go through hundreds of them, it's just not going to be viable, is it? Oh, actually, that might be a good one. And then you've got to go back because you can't hide the stream. Yeah, it's really clunky now. I don't know what the hell is going on. I was hoping that next time I logged in, it would be working properly. But just to give you an idea, I believe, if this is what I think it is, yes, it is. So the photo reading that's included in that as well, it says world first because this was the first time anyone in the world, including Dr. Paul Sheely, the creator of photo reading, had run the whole photo reading certification online as a video webinar. They'd live streamed it before, but never a webinar until, of course, lockdown. But I did it several years before lockdown. I think, I don't know, was this something like 2008, 17, 18, something like that? And so the agreement was, ignore the URL, that doesn't exist anymore. Use the Xender link that's along the bottom of the ticker tape. But I went to the company who created photo reading. I said, this is what I want to do. And they said, not sure about that. I said, well, okay, can you let me do it? If it doesn't work, I'll never do it again. And of course, I'll offer people, you know, adequate compensation in return. Although I was like, that's not going to happen because it's going to be amazing. So I said, if it doesn't work, I'll never do it again. It was amazing. And when I put the feedback side by side with people who've been in the photo reading room, you wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. So somebody says with regards to this one, inspiring, creative, intensive, engaging, brilliant. This was a 21-hour webinar. Of course, we had a break. So running over 3 days, I did it exactly the same format as I run the photo reading workshop. We did the Friday afternoon, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And there was someone taking part. So she did the Friday. Then the Saturday, she was flying to America. So she said, I won't be there for the rest of the weekend. You know what happened? She was so blown away with how engaging it was and how amazing it was. Because, you know, if you say, yeah, we're going to do 8-9 hours online workshop about reading, accelerated learning, all that, people are like, yawn, yawn, yawn. Yeah, I'll catch you later. It was so amazing that when she got to her hotel room, first thing she did was logged in and joined us for the next part of the workshop. And after she delivered her keynote presentation, first thing that she did, back to her hotel room to join us for the workshop. That's how amazing it was, all online. So these are from people who were online, and that's the very same workshop that's included for very limited time. And I mean, as I said, I don't usually do deals on photo reading, but that's 48% off. What's this one? So I'm going to go back here because it's really, so I think that's one I'm going to hide, and then I'm going to do that. Right. So someone else said it was fun, energizing, mind expansive. And again, they were online, not even there in person. And I remember when I very first, I did like part photo reading, but it was like about memory, recall, studying, etc. And that was, it wasn't a webinar per se. I was running a class, a special version of the photo reading class as it was, but I had a camera crew in the room. It's just one day. And one of the first people to watch that, she said, Marilyn, I felt, she's a lawyer, you know, attorney for those of you in the US. She said, Marilyn, I felt like I was a fly on the wall. And there was a bit where it was quite emotional in the group. Something amazing happened. And she said, I cried at that bit as well. She said, I really felt like I was there with you. And then somebody else who watched it a few years later, again, it's just a record, not just, it's a fabulous recording, even if I say so myself. She said, I felt like I was with you all in the room. So it's not your average traditional online video webinars. They are energetically engaging. So 48% off the next 7 days. I'm just going to see if I've got any of the, actually, I'm going to take that off first because I have to keep going back and forth like a yo-yo. Now this facility isn't working properly. Sorry if you can hear that clicking noise, because usually you can just scroll and roll. I'm just going to see, I've got loads. Actually, while I'm having a little look-see, my final in-person photo reading workshop is next weekend if you're watching this in real time. So if you want to join us, let me know. And this was from a team of rocket scientists who I did a hybrid version of the photo reading. When I said a shortened version, I went up to the Army base, MOD base in Shrivenham, and they're all they're rocket scientists. PhDs, you name it, doctorates, this, that, and the other, wonderful, and they know how to learn. So when I rock up saying I'm going to teach accelerated learning, some of them were a bit like, yeah, really? And this was the feedback at the end of that 2 days. And I wasn't expecting, these are not the words I was expecting from rocket scientists, all suited and booted on a military base. And they said stimulating, valuable, highly recommended, professional, excellent, enlightening, fun, relaxing, motivating, time well spent, should be given to all first-year PhD students. And of course, photo reading isn't just for students. If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a coach, if you're a therapist, or if you're a public speaker, photo reading shows up in so many ways I cannot even begin to tell you. Brain health, mindset, creativity, critical thinking, decision making, of course, using your mind and your time more effectively. So yeah, if you want to join us next weekend and be in the room, we'll be in a slightly different room to the one that's here, but that will give you the gist of it. I'm just looking to see, because I wasn't planning to really talk about the workshops in detail. I was just having a little look see to see if I had any of the testimonials for other online workshops in there. But if you go to the Zenler site, pretty much on the courses, I've probably added some testimonials on there. And if you've got any questions about, I'm just having a look, just I'm said I've had testimonials, I think I have, let me have a look. But yeah, if you've got any questions, if you've got any queries about any of those, ping me an email and I can answer any questions that you have. But yeah, it's to celebrate the 48 years so that you get the opportunity to experience a bit of what I experience in terms of the life change, the transformation, the mindset, etc. So grab it while you can for the next 7 days. Use the coupon code that is whizzing along. And if you're not on my e-newsletter list and you want to catch, actually, let me see what I'd have to do. Oh, I'd have to do it manually. Well, if you're not on my e-newsletter list, but you want to kind of catch any other offers that I do, my suggestion is go to my main website, transformationstm.com, www.trance, F for Freddie, FORMATIONS, DM as in trademark, so transformationstm.com. When you land on the site, if you look top left, you'll see a box where you can sign up for my e-newsletter list. And if you look top right, there's a What's On button. Click that, a panel slides out, and you kind of see forthcoming events, links to blogs, etc. What I will say is the e-newsletter is the one that is updated, you receive more regularly. I have to be honest, because I was traveling, I went to Canada, was emceeing the TCCHE, the Conference for Consciousness and Human Evolution. So I haven't updated it for about 6 weeks. So what I'm talking to you about actually is not on that yet. But the What's New is a way that you can just have a quick look and see what's happening. So bookmark that. And the reason I say do that or get onto the e-newsletter is people will say, well, oh, I really wanted to do that. Or I didn't see the offer for the quantum entanglement remote experiment, for example. Mind blowing. The link is on my page at the moment. If you're watching this in real time, read the results. Just incredible. Change and transformation, the hands-off, easy way. People just sent me an email, hey, osteoporosis, hip pain, that was it. They got on with their life, and 4 days later, less pain, less pronounced limping, walking up the stairs without using the handrail, following weekend out with their grandchildren, doing the candy dance, not once, but twice. Another client on the other end of the scale, it wasn't physical, it was emotional, suffering with grief and loss and disconnection for their business since we had been in lockdown with COVID. Insomnia, I didn't know they were suffering from insomnia, but they said they had the best night's sleep they've had in 3.5 years after listening to the Huna recording that came with the program on the Sunday night. They said because they were feeling spiritually disconnected, they said, and capped, like their connection was capped off. So they said they feel connected, they feel uncapped. A book they've been struggling to write, suddenly it's flowing. And they sent me an email today to say they've had a new client in, and some green shoots are happening with other things. So that is just amazing. So that's a quantum entanglement remote experiment. That's a workshop that hasn't happened yet. That's coming up. If you're watching this in real time, I did a webinar on Saturday. Today's Monday, so day before yesterday. And I've just put the 3.5-day intro, which included a HUNA experience. If you want to get a taste of it before you purchase the one-day workshop. And we did some of the taster exercises from the quantum alchemy workshop that I'm planning. And I just put that up on YouTube today. So / Marilyn Devonish, you will find that. But yes, celebrate with me. If you'd like a bit of a shake up, some transformation, maybe it's about firing things up, maybe it's about calming things down, maybe it's about opening up that sense of energetic flow. There is really something for everyone. And of course, if it's business related, I would recommend things like the fearless public speaking, the banish procrastination, if that's one of the things you're doing. And if you're a coach or therapist, I would say have a look at practitioner insider secrets, because I share how I design and deliver and put together my programs, my trainings. That actually I probably will update a module on that, actually, because we talked about technology on that as well. That makes your life easier, how to navigate all of that, how to actually structure and design your workshops to go from a blank sheet of paper to having your outline, for some people, the finished product within, for 8 hours is quite a long time actually, but for many people it's short, because I will show you how to do it in 5 minutes and then we build it out from there. So I'd say go for practitioner insider secrets. And if you're into the spiritual development side of things, I would say the HUNA definitely, and the Mind Body Spirit Energy Fest. So, but have a look, click on all the workshops, see what takes your fancy. And of course, if it's a blend of all of those things, people don't expect the photo reading to be a spiritual development course, and people are always blown away when they do it and go, whoa, if I'd known it was going to be this, I would have done it years ago. So if you want the spiritual, the business, the personal development, the brain health, the the mindset, all the rest of it, the belief change, so we do a HUNA segment on the photo reading as well. I would say if you have to choose one, and one of my clients, Penny Kroll, some of you might know her, meta medicine specialist. Again, it's on my YouTube channel somewhere, and it's on my transformationstm.com / photo reading. The video is there. But she said, if you're going to do one, if you have to do any training, any kind of workshop, do the photo reading first, because it lays a foundation for everything else that's coming. So if you have to choose just one, choose the photo reading. That would be my suggestion. Oh, hold on. That's a good question. Sorry, I just saw something flash up. It's a question about this. Is the one that, okay, so what you're talking about is the all access pass. The all access pass is over 60 pretty much all of my online video webinar workshops, programs, courses. And the all access pass, you pay once, you get access for life, and it is actually a lifetime deal. I did check with the company that does the hosting. The way I've set it up is, even when I'm no longer on this planet, so long as their company is still running, you still have access. So it is true lifetime access. Somebody's saying, is that included? Let me do the math, because what is it? I think it's I've got to do the math. The reason I've got to do the math is the price can never be lower than the price that people originally paid when I launched it 2 years ago. So it's not on that. It's not on the Zenler site. That's on my webinar site. I've got to work it out. Hold on. Minus 2860. Actually, is it included? If I've done the numbers correctly, and I'm going to have to go back and check, it looks like the 48% off, you would still pay more than people paid when I first did the launch, because I can never have that happen. If I do a pre-launch of something, like something substantial, and it's an ongoing product, and I add to it. So I think there are 61 or 62 workshops in there to choose from. So just, everything you can think of. And I broke it down into sections. There are 7 different sections: relationships, the soul of spirituality, business, the accelerated learning, you name it. There's 7 different categories in there. So whether it's work and business, spirituality, personal development, or fun, anything in between, there will be something in those 60 workshops. But the deal I offered when I very first launched it, I said, for those of you buying it now, you're never going to get it for less than that. So I've always got to make sure that I honor that. But if I've done the maths correctly, because I've got to just go and check the pricing, but I could include it because it doesn't go lower than the deal I offered 2 years ago. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, it could be. It's a different link. So I'm going to do the math. And if I've done that correctly, because I've just got to check the price, I think it's 5,500. And if that is the price that it is now, then it will, with the 48% of it, will be 2,860. So we're good, because I think 970 for those in my Facebook membership group, and I think it was 2,500 for the launch that when I did it last year. So in answer to your question, yes, I probably could include it. So it's not included at this point because it's not on the Zenler site, but I probably could include it. So what I'll do, I'm going to go and have just double check, and then I will add the link, let's say in the comments of this particular video on Facebook, and I will add the link in the description of YouTube. So that's what I'll do. But it's a completely different link. It's on my Big Marker site. And so what I'll do is I put the link, and I'll use the same code that I'm using for this one, the 2004 anniversary and ANNIV 48, just to kind of keep it simple. So I will check on that. So circle back in about 20 minutes, check the comments or check the description on YouTube. And if it does work in terms of the numbers, so that I'm not offering it for less than I did when I launched it, you can, rather than having to just choose one or two workshops, you can get the whole shebang, because the workshops that are on the Zenler site, which is a selected number, there's about, I think there's 15 or so, but you can get 60 plus of them with regards to that. And what I will also do for those of you who are purchasing this week, I will also include 1 year access to the Mind Tracks Paraliminal Library that's created by Dr. Paul Sheely. They're amazing. So you get 61 paraliminals. You have them on your phone or on your device. You will need headphones, because with paraliminals, you've got one story in the left ear, completely different story in the right ear, and then there's the holosync technology that runs through. So I will include, I'm just going to see if I've got anything. I will include 12 months access to that as well. So oh, here we go. Perfect. Let me put that there. Take that off there and put me there. So you'll get 12 months access to the Mind Tracks app as well. Those are they used to be physical CDs. They're now all been put onto the Mind Tracks app. And so whichever workshop you're purchasing, I will add 12 months access. It will take a couple of days to set it up, because Learning Strategies will set that up for you, and then they'll send you the link, and you've got full access to all of those 61 incredible again, you name it, the Sales Leap, Get Around to It, Dream Play, oh my God, New Behavior Generator. Every topic you can think of is probably in that Mind Tracks library, and you'll get free access for 12 months. You can purchase it separately. It's £97, but I'll include it for anyone who's purchasing one of the workshops during the next 7 days. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you know someone who could benefit from one of the workshops, or they'd like access to the Mind Tracks, then please feel free to share this link with them. Tag them in, copy and paste it, email it to them. That will be absolutely amazing, and catch this incredible deal while you can, as I share the gift of transformation. So Marilyn Devonish, the Neurosuccess Coach from transformationstm.com, over and out. And yay, happy anniversary to me. 24 years. It's been quite a ride. What can I say? Catch you all later. And if you're on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe if you haven't already done so. click the like button and give the algorithms a bump. That will be very much appreciated. Catch you later.